Okay. Thank you for joining us for Parent Conversations today. Sorry, it was a few minutes late. That's on me. Apologize ahead of time. Today we have Eloise with us, and she is with Readeo. I'll give you a little bit of bio, but I want to let you know that we're able to do Parent Conversations as a part of a grant from the Bear River Health Department. So we want to say thank you to them. Eloise has enjoyed a full and inspirational career, mostly in public education. After being at home for many years, parenting her own 3 children, she worked at Hannah House in Lebanon, New Hampshire, teaching parenting classes to pregnant and parenting teens. She went from there to 13 years of public school teaching first, and then 11 years of being an elementary school principal. She retired from education in 2019 and started off on a new learning adventure by founding a nonprofit organization. The nonprofit Hearts You Hold supports immigrants, migrants, and refugees in a concrete material way. I will post the link to Hearts You Hold in the chat. Excuse me. Donors visit the website to view specific requests, and they can choose exactly where they would like their donations to go. Most recently, about a year ago, Eloise began working a remote job at Readeo. And at Readeo, she's a literary specialist as well as a customer success manager. Readeo combines video chat with read aloud and is connecting loved ones who are far away from each other through the joy of reading aloud together online. Eloise lives in, let me say this right, Thetford, Vermont, with her husband of 35 years, and they have 3 grown children and 8 grandchildren who are all amazing. Eloise, take over.
All right. Well, I've never been a part of your parent chat, so maybe you could give me a little structure of what everybody. Readeo caught my eye, involved with Readeo, and then I can give you any more of an overview about all of the different components and how Readeo is really unique and special compared to maybe some other similar programs that are out there. So
okay, why don't we talk for just a second about how important literacy is and why?
Well, yes, I mean, as a retired educator and one who had mostly a clear focus on the importance of literacy, we find that children, even when they come into school, there's such a disparity between experiences of what they've experienced before school age that really has to do in large part with literacy and experiences that they've had. And so the gap happens at a very young age. So we've known for a very, very long time that early intervention around literacy, having conversations with children, getting their hands on a lot of books and exposing them to a lot of different adventures, both in person, but also through stories and through literature, sets them up to participate not only in school at a full level, but throughout their lives. So the importance of it is, in my opinion, leading a happy and healthy life where you can engage with the people around you and you can make choices and you can use your mind to do some critical thinking along the way, all those things in large part to come back to literacy, high level exposure to literacy and engagement with literacy.
Thanks. Let's talk a little bit about the family connection. Then we know we've got, kids, everybody's spread out all over. I've got a daughter with 2 grandkids on the East Coast. And it's hard living that far apart. Why don't you share with us how Readeo can help families who live those kind of distances apart connect? In fact, that doesn't even have to be that far. Just families around the corner if you just can't get together. I mean, COVID, we spent a whole year segregated from each other. So yeah, let's talk a little bit about that and then just kind of go into how Readeo helps with both the literacy and the family connection.
Yeah, well, I mean, that is also combines how I got involved with Readeo, because I've always been very actively involved with my grandkids, it's always meant a lot to me, and reading was always a big part of that. And Readeo has taken off since COVID hit because it is an incredibly high quality way to engage with grandchildren, very, very small children, all the way up through 11 and 12-year-olds. And if you've ever tried as a grandparent or a family member, or even a parent who may have to travel a lot or who's in the military, to try to have engaging conversations with children over video chat, it's practically impossible. They lose interest almost immediately. And I'll be honest with you, so do I. I mean, there's not a lot you can talk about. And I was searching around to find a way to connect with my own personal grandchildren who I couldn't be with in person. And there's a lot of junky stuff out there, and I wasn't going to settle for junky stuff. And then I came across Readeo, and I think what sets Readeo out is the video chat combining. So it's live video chat. You're having these conversations with the children, but the focal point of it is a beautiful picture book that's in front of you both at the same time, that you can read and share and discuss. So the children can turn the pages, or you can turn the pages. There's a pointer to be able to point things out and discuss things. And our library, and now over 1,000 incredibly high quality books, is at your fingertips to be able to share together. So for myself personally, and for many people that have enjoyed spending time together like this, reading together on Readeo, they talk about the child saying, please read one more. Can we read one more? Like, they want to stay on longer. They want to engage for longer periods of time, instead of trying to carry a phone around on FaceTime to show their newest toy that they got or something like that, that doesn't have as rich a focus to it. So this, and you mentioned, being far away. I've also found that now, that we're able to be together a little bit more, as we make gains with being able to be safe together. I'm using Readeo even with my grandchildren when I'm with them. I had some of my older grandchildren visit, an 8 and 12-year-old, and we would read together on Readeo when they were with me, because of the extensive library that we can access at their level. But now they've gone home, and it warms my heart, and sometimes even chokes me up, that they text me every night and say, can we read? And so at bedtime, we get out our folktale book, and I read them one of the folktales every night before they go to bed. So it's very, very versatile how you can use it, how you can connect with it, and how it can bring enrichment not only to the children through literature, but in some other platforms we've talked about the self-care it provides for the adult to be able to engage with their family members on such a rich, deep level. It's a really special, heartfelt, and rich experience for all.
Thanks. Yeah. Shirley, did you want to say something? Go ahead.
I do. I have something I want to, but Casey is trying to get in. Casey's having a hard time getting in. Do you have the link handy that you could send to her? And what I would like to say, I just want to back up what Eloise was saying. I'd like to share with you guys my experience. I have one particular set of grandkids that I have never really been able to be around that much. They've been raised, in a completely different, they were first in Boston while their dad was going to school, and now they're in Ithaca while he's teaching. And and I've never been around them in the same area. So we go visit them. But yeah, it has been very difficult for me to build a relationship with them. As Eloise mentioned, we talk on the phone, but it's just not and even the FaceTiming and, what did you do this week? But the conversations are over very quickly. There's just, when you don't have a relationship already, it's been very difficult to really, know what to kind of how to build that. And Readeo has been an absolute game changer with that set of grandkids in particular, we have a set time every Sunday at 2. We meet in the Readeo book chat room. I mean, the kids get to choose, the book, and then we take turns reading it, right from the 10-year-old down to the 3-year-old. They take turns. The dad helps the little 3-year-old, there's with the reading. And it brings up the conversations, going back to what you were talking about with the language. I mean, research has actually shown that the number of words a child hears is directly connected to their success in school and in life. And so, yes, we need to be talking to kids a lot, but reading is such a great way for them to hear those words and to kind of bring up that if we have a hard time, talking with kids, we don't know what to say or whatever. Reading is such a great way for them to hear those words. I mean, I see my little 3-year-old, hearing the words and these bigger words that the older kids are, are reading that, and it brings up the conversation through the books. There's plenty for us to now talk about. And it's provided me an opportunity to also share some things about like what their dad when he was younger. We've never really, I mean, it's just, you don't start off a conversation saying, oh yeah, and when your dad was a little boy, by the way, kind of thing. But as we're reading the books and these topics come up, it has just been very natural to be able to say, oh, I remember when your dad was a little boy and we did this and this. It has been an absolute game changer for us. I've also just saw some really fun comments in the group. One mother mentioned that she has gone back to work up at the university. And when her son is missing her, they can jump in Readeo and read together, and it calms him.
Oh,
Isn't that wonderful? And
that
then
is.
another parent commented on, and showed a picture of the two kids reading together. And she said, my kids now ask for their iPad so they can read instead of playing games. And she said, I love that. I don't mind them having their iPads to read together. So
Yeah.
just, I can't say enough good about Readeo. I'm very excited, Eloise, for you to talk about some of the similarities and differences to, maybe some of the other things that are out there, so that we understand kind of the similarities and the differences.
Yeah, well, I will say, as I was listening to you talk, that one of the other unique attributes, because I think one thing that you'll also find if you pop on there and you let your child browse through the main library, they will probably pick a book that just appeals to, the cover appeals to them, and it may, find another book. You can lose interest like you do on some of the other types of conversations or video chats that you've tried to have. So what we find to be really helpful is both the child and their parents or their caregivers can go through, set up a bookshelf, read the books ahead of time, or you can set up a bookshelf in that child's name and read through it and say, here I've picked 8 books here that I think maybe you might really like. Do you want to pick one of them to get started with? And it kind of guarantees that you're going to have a successful read aloud with the child. Also, we're just really proud of the high quality of our books, the diversity that they exemplify, not only in the characters in the books and the cultures around the world, but also the authors and illustrators who have written and illustrated the books. Also, we're proud of that diversity. And then we do have really nice ways to search for books. We have a whole list of categories. So if you have a child who particularly likes trucks, you can click on the transportation category, and then you can also narrow it down further by age. We're really proud of our library of Spanish books. We have a really nicely developed library of those. We have a handful of French books, not that many. We're working on building that up. And our age range goes from 0 to 11 right now, just recently we've been adding books for 9 to 11-year-olds that include chapter books and really engaging longer text nonfiction books. And then these really incredible collections of folk tales from the Barefoot book publisher. That's the particular series that my 8 and 12-year-old grandchild want to read with me every night remotely, because they're just so beautifully written and so beautifully well done. So I think Readeo, we 1,000 books is a lot of books, but not compared to some other platforms that provide books for kids to read aloud. We've on purpose, we are not having a huge library of just every book under the sun. We are carefully selecting our books and vetting our books so that, subscribers can know that they're getting, the high quality book and standard that we deem to be great for rich literature experience for everybody. They appeal to, the adults as much as the children. I enjoy reading them as much as the children do, which is, in my opinion, a sign of a very high quality book if it's really engaging to everybody. And it's also a book that you want to read over and over and over again. It's not just a one and done read. It's really fun to go back and have your collection of favorites that you love to read and then explore new ones too. We've been adding, building our library. We've been adding about 40 books a week. So it's fun also to click on the new tab and check out each week the selection of new books that we've added. People love to look forward to that as well. So I think those are some of the things that really make Readeo stand out. The other thing is that it's an unlimited amount of time on a book chat. There's no time limit on it. An unlimited number of books that you can read, an unlimited number of bookshelves that you can create, so you can really use it however you want. And then lastly, it's just a very affordable price. It's just $10 a month or $120 a year. So it's really affordable for the value you get. I currently live in a very small apartment and don't have room for a library of children's books, but I have this access to this incredible library at my fingertips wherever I am with my laptop. So that's the other benefit. Like, no matter where I am, if I'm traveling myself, I still can go to those familiar bookshelves and have really special reading times with people who, we enjoy reading together with. So I think all those things are really unique to Readeo and help it stand out.
That's awesome. We've got a couple comments and our questions. We're going to start with Emily first. She's had her hand raised for a little while. So Emily, go ahead. Unmute yourself, Emily. Sorry.
Oh, thank you. I have a question. We've been using the free trial offered by My Discovery Destination, and we've enjoyed it. And I've invited a couple families. I think you can have like 3 families on one account or something. I'm wondering, can you all be on the chat at the same time, all 3 or so families?
That's a great question. Yeah, so you can have actually 4 additional emails on your account for 4 additional families, and that's all included in as for you as the subscriber. And yes, you can have a multi-book chat with up to those 4 people on at the same time, reading together. I know some families get the cousins on there reading with the grandparents. The cousins sometimes take turns reading the book to the younger cousins. So yes, you can do that. And the way you do that is you start a book chat, and then your buddies that you have as your book chat buddies can just click on your name in the book chat and pop right into the one that you've started. So great question. Yes, thank you. I forgot to mention that.
Perfect. Thanks, Emily. Did you have anything else you wanted to ask, Emily? You're good? Okay. I'm going to assume you're good unless you respond. Okay. Angela's with us. She's also works with us at My Discovery Destination. And she said, as a speech language pathologist, I totally agree with what Shirley said. Books provide better vocabulary and grammar than we use in speaking every day. Yes, that is for sure. And Shirley mentioned that she loves the search feature and the feature that Readeo has to search by age.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I like how you mentioned the different bookshelves. And so I have grandkids of different ages. And so as I go through the books, I create a bookshelf like for my little princesses. I have a whole slew of little, of little princesses. But then I've also got the older grandkids and the kids, I make a bookshelf specifically for, my New York grandkids because I know I'm going to be with them. And every once in a while, I'll come across a book that's just perfect for grandpa. Anything that's about building and construction, I mean, that's just grandpa. So I have a bookshelf that I'll put on kind of the grandpa's bookshelf to be able to read with the grandkids. So yeah, I love that feature. And I was going to mention that very thing that Emily asked about. That is one of the things that I have noticed is far superior to some of the other programs. I mean, they're just like one-to-one. For me, I have 8 kids, which means I have 8 households with grandkids. It's really important for me that I'm able to bring those grandkids on at the same time and be able to read to, I call them my little princesses. I have like 9 little granddaughters under the age of 4. It's important to be able to bring all of them on at the same time and read together. And that way they get to know each other as well. And they have that cousin time. So I love that feature.
Yeah, the other thing I would add to that is what is really nice is because it's an unlimited amount of time, we have a feature where you can click on the video portion and it makes your videos to the back and it's just your videos in the front. And so you can have just conversational time where you can see each other a little bit better instead of the small videos at the top. And then you can pop back down and minimize those and go back to another book when you're ready to. But I really find that enhances the conversations where you can enlarge in the videos so that you can see each other and talk to each other, and it feels more personal. It feels like you're more together, and then you can always go back to the book again. So that's a really nice feature, especially when you have more than one family on there, because it's hard to see the other people when the videos are small, when the book is up there, but at any point you can make them larger and have a nice multi-family chat like that.
That's good to know. I need to try that. And that's the other thing. I'm still learning and I've been using it for over a month now. I think Erin set my account up fairly early. So yeah, I love that there are still things that we can learn with it. But yeah,
we've kept it a fairly pretty simple platform, but there still are some features that that feature that I was talking about, when you go on next, you'll find it up by your video. It's up on the right hand side. So just click on that, try a few things up there, and you'll see that it's a really very nice feature.
Okay, excellent.
Okay. Anybody else have any questions? I was going to ask, I had to step away for just a second, but I was going to ask let's get the link. Let's tell everybody what the special is that My Discovery Destination in conjunction with Readeo is offering. Eloise, do you want to run with that for a minute?
Yeah, so the website is just readeo.com, and then you can just click on subscribe. We have a 14-day free trial for anyone who wants to try it out. And we also have issues or troubles during your free 14-day trial or any other time, we're there to help you through. And we really believe that you'll love it once you get on there, and that you'll want to subscribe at the end of your trial. But there is a deal going right now. We have to get a 30-day free trial rather than the 14-day.
Yes, and to get that you just go to the readeo.com/MYDD, or if on the main site, then just use code MYDD30.
Okay, great. Yeah.
So yeah, so great special that they have given us as part of this summer passport program. And we have some fun things coming up. I will be announcing this next weekend a really fun Readeo Marathon. You've probably all been part of a reading marathon, a summer reading marathon. We're going to have a summer Readeo Marathon. And so we're very excited for that. So I would imagine everyone here is probably already on and trying Readeo. But if you are not, be sure you get your account set up and that you become, you've used it and are comfortable with it, so that so when we get going with that reading marathon, you've just got all of the kinks worked out and you're a pro. It doesn't take very long to become a pro. It is a super simple platform.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're very excited. We have loved having Readeo be part of the Summer Passport program. So grateful to them. Thank you for being here with us today, Eloise. And I have loved working with Aaron. Aaron is one of the co-founders, I believe. I think there are two brothers that are involved in the founding. He has been wonderful to work with us. He has assured us that they will take care of us if there are any, as Eloise mentioned, if there are any issues, during the free trial, they'll help get things set up. Everyone that I have talked to, once they've tried it out, they're like, oh, I'm keeping my subscription. But if something happens, I mean, this truly is a, risk-free trial. He assured me if something happens at the end and it ends up, charging the card and you didn't plan to continue, that they will work with it and take care of you. They've just been wonderful to work with. It's an amazing company and an amazing product that I am.
Thank you. That sounds great. And I will just also reassure people to spread the word that, we will refund your money if you're unhappy with us. It doesn't happen all that often, but we want you to be happy with us. So, and if you feel like the 2-week free trial or even the 30-week free trial, if you've had little glitches or you're just having trouble getting your family members to, get on there with you as book chat buddies, just reach out to us. We will be happy to extend it even further. We are committed to having people have success on our website, and we stand by what we believe is to be a great program. And so we'll pretty much do whatever needs to be done to keep you happy with us and happy with the program. So all it takes is reaching out to us, and I think you'll find we're extremely responsive, and we're happy to work with you in whatever way it is. And in the end, we'll give you all your money back, if you want it. Again, that doesn't happen very often, but we do have a money back guarantee. So just be rest assured, you do have to put in your credit card, your payment information when you sign up for the free trial. But you can, there's no contract or commitment. You can just cancel it yourself at any time on your own platform, or you can just send us a quick note asking us to cancel, and we will take care of that for you in a prompt way.
Awesome. It sounds like a total win-win situation, fail safe, can't go wrong. So
yeah, I wouldn't be working with the company if it weren't, because I've retired. So I'm only here because I love it, and I love Aaron and the other people that work there. They're all very socially responsible and just really decent, great people that have made this amazing product. So it's been a fun journey for me to join onto the team. And I wasn't looking for this kind of thing, but I'm really glad I'm here, and I hope everybody else has a great experience with it too. So thank you for helping spread the word. I think we really appreciate the collaboration there with you and the fun. I think that readathon sounds really exciting.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to hearing all the details about that, Shirley. So,
we're working on them. Melissa, I keep seeing your Melissa B. I see your hand come up and down. Do you have a question?
no? Okay, if you
No,
do,
I'm just typing. I have my phone. I'm typing this information on my computer.
Perfect. Okay. I wanted to just say one other thing that Casey has pointed out that I just agree with so much on the pricing. You guys, the pricing, I mean, $99 for an entire year, and you can have 4 family members on with you. I mean, that's so like if siblings were to share that cost, I mean, of course, for me as a grandma, I'm just covering that cost so that my kids have it. And because I have 8 kids, I'll have the 2 accounts, But, and that's another thing that Aaron actually mentioned, because I asked him at one point, and I don't know anyway, he said that he would work it out so that I could get if we need to have, because I'll basically do one account for my bio kids, one account for my bonus kids. But if we ever want to do the crossover, he said he could work that out as well. So if that's something that's an issue, probably not an issue for most people. Most people don't have 8 families they're trying to bring together. But I just think the cost is so reasonable. And you think about that. I mean, if you've got, basically 5 families sharing that cost, $20 for an entire year. And one of the thoughts that I have had over the past few days that really relates to, I mean, just my Discovery destination as a whole and the work that we're doing, but it really applies to the literacy and to Readeo as well. I think when we talk to parents, we see, if we were to ask parents, hey, what would you be willing to do to ensure that your kids have the greatest shake at being, protected, safe, successful, all of those things that we want for our kids. How far would you be willing to go? What would you be willing to sacrifice? I mean, I think every parent would agree, pretty much be willing to do anything that's, legal, moral, all of those. We want for our children the very best in life. And what we have created in My Discovery Destination is a super simple way to, what if you're willing to do whatever it takes, but what if it was fun, it was easy, and it was free? Okay, which of course, Readeo, there's that little, $20 less than what it costs for 2 people to eat now. I know this, Rick and I have, have eaten out, but we look at it, if we have made this fun and easy. And what we are learning from the feedback from parents is that the parents that are utilizing the program are enjoying the benefits of all of the benefits that we want, everything we want for our kids, that bonding is taking place, that having those experiences, learning new things, all of that is happening. And Readeo is just another really important part of that. The literacy is so important. Our kids need to be literate. They need for us to read to them. They need for us, and as parents, I know, when I was a parent, I think back to, times got busy, life got busy. It would have been great to have grandma and grandpa be able to kind of help with that literacy piece and help with that reading to the kids on those days. If I was really busy or whatnot, it would have been great for grandma and grandpa to be able to be involved, and grandma and grandpa would have loved to have been involved. It just wasn't as easy back then. They were miles away, and so I look at this and I just think this is just another one of those tools that works really well with My Discovery Destination and the different adventures that we have to really, in a very fun and easy way, ensure that our children get that best shake at life and success. So anyway, sorry, a little bit of a soapbox there, but I've just been thinking about that over the weekend and how, as I read through the feedback that we're getting from parents, you guys, what we are doing with My Discovery Destination is trying to make your job as parents easy and fun so that it happens. So
That's
anyway,
nice.
back to you, Megan.
Okay. Are there any other questions for Eloise about Readeo or even literacy? If not, then we're going to end today. Nobody ever, got mad for getting out early, right?
Eloise, I have one question.
Go ahead, Casey.
So how do you get certain book? Like, do you work with different book companies to get the book on your thing, or how do you do that?
Great question. We currently have contracts with 11 different publishers, and so they they make their digitalized books available to us. And then that's part of what I love doing at Readeo, is going through those libraries that they present to us as possibilities for our library and selecting the books. And then, you know, we have another part of our team that works in the background to get those high resolution digital copies up and into the library each week. But yeah, right now we have contracts with 11 different publishers. So that's where we get our books from. And we probably will keep building that to a certain degree. But again, we want to make sure that the publishers that we work with, can provide us with the quality of type of book that's really important to us. So, and it's also a great way for some publishers who aren't maybe big name famous children's books writers or illustrators to get a chance to get their work out there. There's just so much amazing literature that people are writing and illustrating out there, and it's just really fun working with the publishers we have right now and getting that up in our library. So that's how we do it. We have contracts with publishers, and then they get certain amounts of money depending on how many reads their book gets on Readeo.
So that's a great question, Casey, and brings up another question for me. So will the books change, or will you build on the library? And just there will be more and more, or will some of the books only be available for a certain amount of time and then gone?
We don't intend to be taking titles down very often, because we know that families learn to grow and love certain titles, certain publishers, certain authors, certain illustrators. So our library is very stable in that way. Sometimes publishers lose the rights to a book for whatever reason, and we might have to take a single title down that way. Sometimes, very rarely, someone will point something out about a book that just doesn't seem like it fits with what we're trying to portray, and we might take a book down in that situation. But for the most part, you can be reassured that our library will stay the same, and that we've been building it up. When I just started about a year ago, there were only 200 books in there, and now we've just, as of last week, topped 1,000. So we're going to slow it back down again now in terms of the numbers of new books we add each week, because our goal is not to have as many books as possible. Our goal is to continue to build a really high quality library. So the bottom line is that when you build your bookshelves with particular titles, they're going to be there for you for many years to come, for you to share with not only your the young children that you have now, but future young children that are coming down the road.
I love that.
Anybody else have any comments? I was thinking of one thing as we were talking about just literacy and sharing, and the cost of Readeo. I mean, has anybody looked at the cost of kids' books lately? So yeah, it's quite affordable, and I don't think you'd have to read very many books in order to recoup your costs, and if you were sharing it with their family members. Wow. But we grandparents, I think, are willing to kick in that kind of thing just to be close to our grandkids. So
yeah, and we've had I made a mistake with the cost too, and there have been a couple of others. So I just want to clarify, it's $9.99 a month or $99 a year. So just to be clear, and that's for one subscription, again, that you can invite up to 4 other families to join you. So it's 5 total emails. That's how you access your access book chatting in the library is through your email, and all of those other members on your account have full access to the library. Even if you're not on, they can use it at any time. And so it's really, you have sort of a full membership. You can book chat with other people that are members, even if the subscribing member isn't on the book chat. So it's very versatile, and it's a really, as you say, a really good value for the money.
Okay.
Yeah, and again, reminds me of when we were growing up. I have a beautiful children's library. I am a bookaholic. Anyone that knows me, I have books in every corner of the house. I don't have room for any more. And I remember the kids asking, particularly my daughter would say, "So Mom, do I get to take your kids' library when I start having kids of my own?" And now the answer is, yeah, you do. This is a way that I get to share a kid's library with her and still get to keep it, because I also get very tied to my books. So I'm like, no, I want them at my house so I can read to the kids when they're here. But this way now they can be at my house and at her house.
Right.
So I love this. This is just such an incredible product.
Okay, well, we are just about 45 minutes on the dot. Maybe a little short since we started late because I was in the wrong room.
It's okay.
Any more questions for Eloise about the program, about anything in general? If not, then we're going to end today. Thank you, Eloise. Thanks for sharing all that information with us. It's got me excited again. I have not yet signed up, but I'm going to do it. It's getting
Good.
on my to-do list today.
Good. Well, it's been a lot of fun chatting with you, and I love talking about Readeo. So yeah, and thank you again for this collaboration.
Thank you.
Great.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. We'll see everybody
All right.
else next week in Parent Conversations. There will be a new link. The room that I was in today will be the official room, and watch for it in Facebook groups. Thank you, everybody. Got a couple more comments. I'll read really fast. Casey said they're loving Readeo. She wishes she invented the idea herself, and I agree with that. And then Amanda says, thank you. Mom's excited to use it, and you're talking to her tomorrow, and she's in Germany. Oh, that will be so much fun. So
yeah, that's the other thing. As long as you have an email, it works all over the world. It's great.
Perfect. Okay. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next week.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hello.